So now it's your turn to shift those limiting identities into habits with the following steps. So the first one is to write down your identities. What are the I am statements you've been telling yourself? Write them down. This could be things like I am lazy, I am bad with money, I am not a morning person. Okay, and once you've written those down, step 2 is to reframe the identity as a habit. Look at each one of those identities and reframe them into habits. Instead of I am lazy, we can say, sometimes I have a habit of feeling unmotivated when I'm tired. Instead of I am bad with money, we can say, I have a habit of overspending when I'm stressed. And then step 3 is to find the cue. Every habit has a trigger. What's triggering this habit? Is it stress? Is it fatigue? Is it boredom? Once you identify the cue, you can start to work on it. And step 4 is to replace the routine. Now that you know your cue, work on replacing the routine. What's a healthier, more productive behavior that you could adopt when the cue arises? If your habit is procrastinating, for example, when you feel overwhelmed, replace it with breaking the tasks into smaller steps using the 2-minute rule. And then step 5 is about rewarding yourself. Find a way to reward yourself for changing the habit. This could be something small like a short break or a treat, but make sure it reinforces the new behavior. Remember, this process takes time. Changing habits isn't an overnight fix, but with consistency and intention, you can start to shift your behaviors and see real progress. Now that we've covered the main strategies, and before we wrap up for today, I just want to share with you a bonus tool, which is reverse scheduling. If you find that procrastination or laziness still tends to sneak up on you, reverse scheduling can be an absolute game changer. So instead of scheduling your day from morning to night, try starting with the end in mind. And here's how it works. Start with a deadline for any big task. Write down the final deadline or the time it needs to be completed. Work backward, break the task into smaller steps, and set mini deadlines, almost working your way from the deadline back to where you are today. This way you can plan, manage, and you can plan in manageable chunks of work over several days instead of feeling overwhelmed the day before the deadline. And then obviously include rewards and breaks, just like the habit loop that we talked about earlier. Make sure you schedule in short breaks and small rewards after completing each task. This approach can help you stay on track. It prevents last minute stress and also gives you a clear roadmap to follow. Reverse scheduling also reduces the temptation to procrastinate because you're no longer staring down an intimidating far off deadline. You're dealing with small, achievable tasks.